Welcome, everybody, to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Joe Wright. Tonight, I'm joined by my brother D. Wright as we bring you action in the Arca cars at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 55 laps of high-speed, intense action. D. Wright, what you got for us tonight here? Pretty crazy.
Yeah, man. The Rollin 55, sponsored by TNT Excavating and Gravel Ltd. It's going to be some exciting action tonight, Joe. 65% of fuel, one change of tires behind the wall as normal with this league. So really, really exciting stuff. We're moving to about 3/4 of the way through the season. So things are starting to really shape up in the point standing.
They sure are, D. Wright. And speaking of point standings, your guy, Dean Qualley, the owner of the league, I don't even know if that's cool if you own a league and lead the points, but he's doing it. Tyler Aspinall with 2 wins right behind him. Dylan Dunford coming in third in the points right now. Eddie Morris last week creeping up into that top 10, Dave, as well as Brady Floyd into the top 12. Brady actually dropping. He's got 2 wins on the season, was up on top of the board early in the season. I don't know if he's still running or not with these guys, but it seems like he's starting to drop down a little bit.
Yeah, it's starting to heat up there at the top. I don't believe Brady is in attendance tonight, and I think he has dropped off, Joe, to be honest with you. I don't remember seeing him the last couple of weeks. So I know he may have had some predetermined events that he had on Monday night.
So we have about 15 cars or so on the grid tonight. Atman Weiss there in 9th position, just ahead of Eddie. Mick Olofsson in 8th. Tony Richardson, Rowdy in 7th. Austin Green in 6th. And Brandon Richardson in that their 5th spot. Top of the board right now in practice, Tyler Aspinall. 2nd, Dean Qualley. So those guys following up with their speed here at Charlotte with what they've been doing all season long.
Yeah, both of those guys, we see them in the top of the points as well, so they're both going to be competitive tonight. We'll see, as always with these races, Joe, tire wear is very, very important, all the more important here at Charlotte, and especially in these. So should be some things to look out for, and like I said, both of them will be racing for the front and obviously in contention for the championship.
For sure. And we're about to get qualifying here going, D. Right? Let's take a second for station identification. All right, D. Wright. Some of the first guys about to be here on the grid. Dylan Dunford getting into the car first. Let's see what he's got here. It's like he's sitting there on pit road for a second. Oh, lighting him up. Getting a little heat in them rear tires.
He was one that we've seen was in the upper echelon during practice, running for 30.98 earlier in practice, so
you can see him.
And as we had mentioned earlier, Joe, as we had mentioned earlier too, he's 3rd place in points as well.
Yeah, so another one of the fast guys here in the Monday Night Mayhem League, brought to you by Extreme Forces. Man, you can really see him sawing on the wheel through the middle of the corner there, Dave, trying to get as much out of this machine as he can as he crosses the line for his first time lap. We'll see what he can do here.
Yeah, an interesting side note too, Joe, obviously for those of you who've watched week in and week out with this series, tuned in last week to the Wheel and Modifieds at Bristol and seen the action that happened at the end of the race involving Dylan Dunford with Eddie Morris. So Eddie receiving a penalty for that obviously doesn't take away the win and the double points for that race, but we'll see how that extends into tonight with that storyline and see if there's any bad blood between the two.
Dylan Dunford's going to be second fastest, actually, Dave. Lee Krause actually topping him by about 0.04 of a second. As now we look at Tyler Aspinall, your second place points man. Tyler been having a good season here in this series all season long. And, you know, this series is a little bit tough going from 3 different cars, Dave. Sometimes letting some guys have a better advantage over the others, but, man, those modifieds at Bristol were treacherous last week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know that I've ever jumped in those until yesterday an official session, and it only had 2 gears here at Nashville. So I don't know if that's normal with those cars or whatnot, but it was interesting.
So Tyler Aspinall runs a 30.90 on his first lap, second lap 30.91, both laps faster than the rest of the field, Dave. How do you feel about that? That's a statement.
Yeah, Tyler is notorious with qualifying well. As again, we've talked about a couple times on this broadcast, I think Tyler Ware in the way he manages the car is more of the story for him. So he'll be towards the front, obviously, if not on pole for the start of the race. We'll see how that transpires throughout the run tonight.
For sure, David. He's definitely one of those drivers. He needs to keep his emotions in check throughout the race, even when things aren't going his way. And here, Dean Qualley comes across for his first timed lap. And he's going to be 31.15, sixth fastest. Let's see if he can step it up next time by. Little high through the middle of 1 and 2. Not able to really hang it down there on that low line. But we've seen that here at Charlotte, Dave. Sometimes running a little bit higher entry and a lower off is a better way to be. Again, Dean a little high through the middle of 3 and 4. We'll see if he can improve here on this lap time. He does by a little bit. That'll move him into P5. Donnie Bartlett finishing up his laps. He's going to turn a 31.60. That's good enough for P10 currently. We still have about 5 drivers who have not hit the track. Eddie Morris being one of them.
About 1 minute left in qualifying, Joe. And back to Dean. I know he's not happy with that 31.1, I'm sure, as the points leader. And even in practice, was running much faster than that, running sub 31s into the 30. So.
As we look on here now at Alan Warnicki out of Andover, Minnesota. One of them Minnesota there, boys. See if he has enough time to get a lap in. I don't think he's going to, Dave, but we'll see. He comes out of 3 and 4 for his first time lap.
Yeah, he's not going to have enough time here, Joe. It looks like about 5 seconds is going to shut down Senior Warnicki. We'll see where he starts from the back there. Whether it's
and there he goes.
11th. Yeah, looks like it's going to be 11th.
So 11th on the grid for Warnicki. Richardson's going to be 12th. And Eddie Morris 13th. All right, let's go through the field, speaking of which. As these guys get into their hot rods. We'll watch them all grid. Dave, you want to give us that sponsor read one more time here before we get going on this grid while we wait for these guys?
Yes, Joe, I absolutely do. The sponsor tonight is TNT Excavating and Gravel Ltd. And again, this is the Rollin 55 from Charlotte Motor Speedway. 55 laps, 2 sets of tires. I know I said 1 before. 1 fast repair, 65% of fuel.
All right, your pole sitter not quite gridding yet. That'd be Tyler Aspinall. Second place is going to be... So there's Tyler now. Tyler Aspinall starting on the pole in that Carhartt 45. Second will be Lee Krause. Dylan Dunford's going to start on the inside row of inside of second row, and Dustin Buck back in action here. D right, P4.
Yeah, and good to see him back in the action. And P5 is going to be the 17 car of Dean Qualley. Going off P6 is Austin Green in the 15. P7th is Intensity own Atlee Atman Weiss in the 78 machine. Outside of him, the legend making an appearance for one of the very few times we have seen him this season in that 71 machine, rolling off 8th. Joe, that's exciting stuff.
Mikkel Lofson's going to roll off 9th. Donnie Bartlett outside of him in that 10th spot. Alan Wernicke, as we talked about during qualifying, not able to get that lap in, is going to start P11. Daniel Stagner, 12th. Rowdy Tony Richardson, 13th. Brandon Richardson, 14th. And rounding out your field, I think, with an EOL is going to be Eddie Morris, which is why he didn't turn a qualifying lap. Knew he was going to be going to the back because of the penalty from last week, right, D-Right?
Exactly correct, Joe. Something he'll enjoy. He's going to take his checkered flag. They can't take that back from him. But starting from the back, he will have his work cut out for him tonight.
So 55 laps of high speed, high banked action here from Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Arca Menards Series cars. And here goes Tyler Aspinall as he takes him to the green flag. Will be racing. The green flag is out. And they'll grind through the gears. Lee Krause getting a great jump on the outside, Dave. He actually beat Tyler to the line. Hopefully he didn't get black flag there.
Hey, man, green means go, so looks like he was just a little bit quicker on the loud pedal, as Josh Y'all would say. Through turn 1, it looks like we have a fairly clean race.
That we do. We see these guys kind of moving up the track already early in the run. Lee Krause, one of those guys, moving high. And that high line working at the back here as you see them freight training around Atlee Atman Weiss on the outside. Atlee, one of those conservative type drivers, likes to hang out and let things happen and then get a little racy later on. Lots of race here to go as Tyler Aspinall about to lead lap 2 as he moves through turns 3 and 4 while Lee Krause and Dylan Dunford give chase.
Yeah, mainly single file action now, Joe, as we're on to lap 2 and into lap 3. It's really been, except for in the back there, all spread out.
A little bit of action here with Fronek and the 29 as they're side by side for P7.
Yeah, the legend never a shy for action. That is for sure.
Wernicke looking high of the legend. Wernicke with a run. A little bit of clap to the wall looked like for Allen there, Dave. It's going to set him back a little bit on that run.
Allen.
Atlee Weiss now looks inside of Mikkel Lofson. Let's see what he can do there on that bottom line. He starts to slide up off the corner. A little lift out of the throttle, looked like in a wiggle for that 78 machine.
I think he needed to lift out of the throttle, or he might have got into him there, Joe. That was even very close, even with him lifting out of it.
And Tyler Aspinall setting the pace here, D-Right. 31-13 last time by. Some of the guys in qualifying didn't even get that fast, so that's what you like to see out of your leader as he sets the pace for the entire field. 0.2 faster than second place right now. We did talk about it earlier, though, D-Right, him running those tires off. That's what Lee's going to bank on here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he's putting 1/10 of a second on these guys per lap, so, or 100th rather, Joe. So he's up to almost a full second lead on them.
And that there is the distance between Lee Krause and Tyler Aspinall, your leader. Almost a full corner. Dustin Buck up one position into P3. Somebody must have had some issues, David. Some of them are dropping like rocks. Dylan Dunford, Dave, actually. One of those guys with an issue. He's dropped 12 spots. I don't know what happened to him there.
Yes, he has nearly 7.5 seconds off the pace right now as well.
As he goes by Eddie Morris here. We definitely missed something with Dylan, Dave. He was in P3 early in that run. Maybe a little loose off of 4 or something. Doesn't look like he has any damage, so I'm not sure what happened. Dean Qualley, your points leader, making a pass for P3 as he passes Dustin Buck on the low side through turns 3 and 4. He's going to lead Dustin to the line for P3. Oh, somebody hard into the wall, Dave. Looks like it's the... That's Mike Olofsson, the 77. He doesn't yank it off the wall. Good on him. Not bringing out a caution, but we'll see if he hits pit road here. That right side is severely damaged. He's way underpowered.
Yeah, he definitely has to hit pit road here, Joe. And it's Mick, not Mike.
I didn't say Mike.
I think you might have.
Mikey the Mickey Mike. No, I didn't say Mick. I said Mick.
I don't know. No pun intended. That's what your mic picked up.
Tyler Aspinall still out front here as he puts Mick a lap down right now as he goes by. Tyler Aspinall out to a full second, almost second and a half now over Lee Krause. If you're in the broadcast checking it out, let us know who you rooting for, who you watching for. We got the chat up, and we will respond to you. Like, follow, and subscribe, and even share this thing. If you guys are watching it on any of these platforms, just share it. Share it with your friends, your family, your girlfriend, brother, sister, cousins, uncle. Help us out. We're trying to get to 2,000 before 2 years. 2 years here at Intensity Broadcasting, D-Right. Can you believe that? Think about that. April will be 2 years we've been doing this thing.
Time flies when you're having fun. 2K before 2 years seems like a lofty goal, but with the support that we've been getting, we will get there, Joe.
Well, we're at 1,600 on Facebook. I think it's a pretty not so ambitious goal. It's a reachable goal. Fronik getting a little bit of pressure from behind now as he's got 3 cars stacked up behind him. That'd be Dylan Dunford, Rowdy, Tony Richardson, and Daniel Stagner. All 3 cars looking to get back by him. As Dunford looks underneath the 2 there. Dunford able to get it done so far on the inside line. And he ran that down for a while. Back, too.
Yeah, he did, Joe. And we're at the point in these runs now as we cross over lap 14. As we mentioned at the beginning, 2 extra sets of tires. So if you break that up, it's about 18, 19 laps where these are getting very worn for these guys. So we'll see if we see some green flag stops. Very clean race so far, not one caution. So kudos to those guys. Actions to start to heat up as the tire wear breaks in now.
And Dave, do you think these guys are getting looser or tighter? They're looking a little tighter. Oh, Dylan Dunford hard into the outside wall.
I jinxed it.
Caution is out. The D-Right curse is real.
Some call it a curse, some call it D-Right Stradamus. You know what I mean? I was actually just describing what was going to come up. Tire wear is coming in, and you'll see as the 2.
I don't think tire wear had anything to do with it. I tried to hold it back, but I don't think it had anything to do with this one. We'll see, though.
We shall see.
And the 2 just running over the 4. I mean, there's no other way to to slice that one.
Can we roll that back? Can we roll that back?
Yeah, we can certainly roll it back.
Just in car. Can we go in car again? I want to see.
On the 2?
Yeah. And roll it all the way back from coming out of 2.
Yep. Dunford had passed him pretty clean. I mean, right here, Stagner runs way high up the track. He's going to get a great run down the backstretch, and that's where...
I was saying the same thing, Joe. Great run.
Yeah.
Big time draft on the backstretch, and yeah, I think he thought it was going to stick a little bit lower there, you know, and Dunford started to slide down into his groove, and I don't think that Daniel could keep it, you know, stuck down in, so... It looks worse than it actually was.
Dunford able to use his fast repair, it looks like. But definitely the 2 in this situation, I believe, would get the EOL.
Yeah, I think he came over race comms and apologized already for that. Unfortunate for Dylan. Obviously, talked about him earlier as our third place point standard right now, and the issues he had last week at the end of the race. So he'll get the fast repair. He'll get back out there. Unfortunate circumstances so far, but he'll try to keep it clean and get a good finish here.
Brandon Richardson hitting pit road here again here, D-Right. A little bit of fuel strategy, maybe.
I think if you're in the back, Joe, why not, right?
He was about mid-pack, maybe even at the front there when he decided to hit pit road. Some of these guys, I don't think took tires. I think Atman Reese definitely didn't. I don't know. We'll have to look at the pit times here. Let's look at that, actually. Pit stop time as we pull those up. Weiss actually not hitting pit road, D-Right. What? First through 5th not hitting pit road under that caution.
Wrong move.
Sixth on back. Getting down pit road. Kraus and Richardson looking like they took tires.
Yeah, just a little early. We talked about that, right, Joe? Right on the cusp. 18-19 we thought was it. And this is what, 14-15? Maybe in lap 16 right now as we make caution laps around. So, you know, as they say, C's breed C's. Hopefully that's not the case here, and we keep it clean through the restart. And that'll put some of these guys in a little bit of a bind, not only on fuel but on tire wear. And we'll mix up the strategies, obviously, for some green flag stops if we get to that point.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the guys on new tires versus the guys on old tires. I would imagine they're gonna give them a race. But the old tires are definitely going to be a detriment here, especially after as many laps as we've done already.
Oh, yeah. A lot of different strategies going on. First time we've actually seen this league kind of go green flag for that long. Charlotte's 1.5 miles, so nearly 15 laps there, Joe. We're looking 30 miles almost of green flag racing.
And there's your current lineup as they sit. Eddie Morris P13, Aspinall first, Austin Green second as they come out of turn 2. Alan Wernicke up to 3rd, Atlee Atman-Weiss 4th. Those guys not hitting pit road as we talked about. Dean Qualley, their first guy with new. Well, actually, he didn't get any tread. He just got fuel, so he only filled fuel based on his pit time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any who did get tires, Joe. Do we know who got tires based on times?
Yep. So there's your pit stop times. It looks like Lee Kraus and Richardson.
Yeah.
Richardson hitting 16 seconds. So that's about 4 tire change for both those guys.
Yeah.
All right, coming out of 4, that pace car will dip off, and they're going to grind through the gears, get this thing rolling. Tyler Aspinall not giving it any thought and hitting that loud pedal, as Josh would say, grinding through him in the Pit Viper machine as he opens up the gap. But Wernicke able to get underneath that 15 machine, Dave. He's going to clear Austin Green into turn 1.
Yeah, Tyler right back to doing what he was doing before the caution came out, and that was separating from the field. We'll see how that maintains on the older tires
And
as
here
we
comes
see a couple
Dean
of
on new tires. No,
Yeah.
actually, he's not on new tires. I lied. Dean on new
Nope,
fuel.
just new fuel.
Little additive. A little side draft from Atman pulls him back to alongside, but looks like Quality's going to probably clear him down into one. Oh, maybe not. Atman hanging tough on the outside. Another little side draft. Not going to be enough. Quali able to clear and up into P4. Now just behind them, you see Lee Krause. That's your first guy on new tires.
As you can tell, making quick work of Dustin I Shoot Small Bucks.
I hear some wrecking in the background. Somebody's into the inside wall. Oh,
We have a guy down in the grass there, Joe.
yeah,
No
that was
caution
Rowdy.
out. Rowdy needs to get it back going here.
We'll go a little quick replay here while they're still going green. Let me know if they go yellow. Rowdy hard into the outside. Oh, the 29 hard into the outside wall. Tony and Brandon getting into each other, actually, D.
It's a family affair out there, and
the 51 just able to hang on to it.
yeah.
As he limps around to pit road, he's going to get onto pit road right here.
Yeah, I don't. Does he have an engine blown there, Joe?
I would say so based on his speed. Maybe not.
Although he's picking up speed down pit road.
He might have been trying to maybe get a little caution there.
Is he blowing right? Oh no, he's gonna make the stop. All right.
Still running.
Tyler out to a half a second lead over Alan Warnicki, Austin Green, Lee Krause, Dean Foley complete the top 5.
And Richardson on pit road, Dave. He's been there for 48 seconds. Looks like he might be taking some damage repair versus using that reset.
Yeah, I don't know how smart that is. 2 laps kind of puts you out of it here. You need a couple of get backs. I wouldn't say puts you out of it because Mick is at 3 laps down. So as long as you stay ahead of him, Lucky Dog's still in play.
And looks like he's rolling now, coming off pit road. Tyler Aspinall, your leader, as we watch him work through turns 3 and 4. He's going to come up on some lap traffic here pretty quick, Dave, but not able to step out the way he did earlier. Lee Krause and Alan Wernicke right there behind him.
Yeah, he must have slipped up there, Joe. He was over a half a second lead on them and dropped down to 300th. So I don't know if Tyler slipped up, hit the wall there. We weren't paying attention, but they are quickly on him.
He's struggling a bit, it seems. Lee looking impatient. He's going to get into the outside wall. Man, it's so easy to be over-aggressive on new tires, Dave. And we just saw it right there. Lee getting into the outside wall, being a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah, and you see Alan making a play there for the lead. We'll see green flag stops come into effect here because those guys that have not stopped for fuel yet, Joel, have to be running pretty close to it right now, 27 laps into the race.
Man, Wernicke really close just now. Coming off of turns 1 and 2 and not clear of Aspinall and able to actually hang on to it. Here comes Lee now on those new tires. He's going to go straight to the lead, D, right?
Yeah, he is, and we'll see if they get a caution anywhere coming up here shortly where everybody can pit and then potentially get on the same strategy, although that would leave Lee down a set of tires. So some interesting stuff developing here, Joe. as we're 28 laps into this
Lee,
race.
a little
halfway
tight.
now.
That pushes Alan up the hill. Alan into the marbles. You can see him flying off the hood of the car, and Alan really had to get out of it there, Dave. That was pretty wild.
Definitely. And we know Lee took some damage there getting in off the wall, or else he, I would imagine, be blowing by them right now as he has some 15, 16 lap fresher tires than them.
Yep, but Lee, your new leader. Now seems like a good time to crank it up. What you say?
Pump it up, Joe. Pump up the intensity.
And riding along here, D, with Austin Green, and you can really hear Austin get out of the throttle out of 3 and 4 as these guys get a little bit tighter as these runs go on. We might see something happen here. We might see some green flag pit stops as well.
Yeah, and before that, you've seen Richardson and Dylan Dunford in a very, very good battle there for the 8th and 9th spot. So I know that some of the audience, if they're just tuning in, may have thought that you reproduced this with the mute button again like we did last week, but not the case. We were just pumping up the intensity.
I like the mute button. You didn't know?
Apparently.
Your leader, Lee Krause, is laying down some laps still, D, right? There are some guys faster than him. Alan Wernicke, last time by, just a little bit faster. Back in the
And
field as well as Dylan Dunford.
yeah, Joe, and we're getting to a point where we're going to see some green flag stops here, I would think. Some of those guys that were in the top 5 have not pitted at all this race. Alan Wernicke. Or not Alan Wernicke. Yeah, Alan Wernicke, Tyler Aspinall, Dustin Buck, Atlee Atman Weiss. Still having 2 sets behind the wall as well, Joe. So the move by Lee looking semi-genius right now, as he's 2-second lead over Alan Wernicke, gets a long green flag run here, and those new tires are definitely benefiting. The longer this goes, Joe, going to push that strategy even farther. Some of these guys going to be gambling on that way late race caution to get that extra set in. So really clean race tonight. 1 caution, 41 laps into it of a 55 lap race. Really impressed with these guys late in the season. Lee stretching that out to a 3.3 second lead now. Joe, I think you might have fell asleep. Not sure where you are. Dustin Buck running third, 7 seconds back. Dean Qualley, 7.7 seconds back. Dylan Dumford in fifth, 9.5 seconds back.
Aspinall hitting pit road.
You are alive.
I'm here. Just had a little issue on my end. Still good, though. Lee Krause, your leader, 12 laps to go. Dave, does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? That's the question.
Very good question.
Let's look at
word of advice.
Lengths. 28 laps in. Most of these guys hit 41 laps. So I'm going to go with, if you pit at lap 15, you got a shot at this thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be close. It's going to be close.
Yeah. Gotta like the gamble from Lee. I mean, really spot on. Even with the late braking caution, if it happens at this point, Joe, those guys that had just went in and took tires, I mean, are you taking a track position of a few spots over going to get that other set anyway? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it might draw everybody down to pit road. Depending if and when it happens.
Pit road now. You know who I'm looking at, Dave, and I say this only because he's been hanging out, and we haven't talked about him. I'm looking at Eddie Morris. Eddie knows that pit strategy and that fuel strategy well. He's usually one of the guys that talks to you and I about it when we do our own races and such, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here as we move along.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie's definitely going to need a caution for him to be a player as he's 16.5 seconds back, Joe, but true to form, as you said. See how it plays out. Because barring a caution, Lee Krause is going to cruise to victory with enough fuel in his tank.
Possible. 31 laps. He's got 9 laps to go. That would put him at 40 laps. He has been out front, and he ran hard early in that run. Some of these guys who ran a little longer, 40, 41, 43 laps. For some of these guys, Weiss ran 43 laps, D-Right, on his. So, you know, a little bit different... different fuel conservation versus use as well. A little bit faster for Lee, so we'll see what happens. 8 laps to go. Barring any major setbacks, that 29 just pushed real hard toward the wall. But he's able to hang on to it. I'm Lee Krause, Dave. I got a 10-second lead. I'm out of the throttle half a second every lap from here on out through the middle of the corner, trying to conserve as much as I can till the end of this thing.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got his crew chief up, letting him know where he's at fuel-wise. I'd be more concerned about keeping it between the wall and that blue line down there, because I think that's most important. Obviously, the caution may set some things in motion that changes everything.
Atlee Weiss on new tires after hitting pit road, trying to get his lap back here.
Yeah, and we see only 7 drivers on the lead lap right now, Joe. So really, those 7: Fronek, Richardson, Brandon, Eddie Morris, Dylan Dunford, Dean Qualley, Dustin Buck, and the leader, Lee Krause. Really probably the only ones without maybe Warnicki or Bartlett, depending on who gets the lucky dog. If they have a caution and one comes out, the only players in this race right now. So Lee Krause, almost 10-second lead, 4 laps.
Dunford versus Qualley for P3 right now is the race on track. Dunford, after getting into a serious wreck early in the race, takes that reset, Dave, and now here he is looking to be P3.
We mentioned him, 3rd in points. Dean, obviously the Roger Goodell of the league, and in 1st by default of the commissioner status. And
they're actually closing the distance as well to Dustin Buck while they battle.
Dustin Buck running the wrong number. $19 on your cart, $65 in your heart.
Dunford to P3. We'll see if Dean can get a crossover here. Doesn't look like he has the tires to do it, and that's going to let Dunford drive away. Dunford now sets his sight on that 2nd place with 3 laps to go. But this story is all about Lee Krause, and if he has enough to make it, we'll look at that stint length one more time. 37 laps. 3 laps from now will be 40 for him. And based on previous stints, should be able to do about 42 without an issue. We'll see, though.
Yeah, man. Really mathematician calculation by him. And looks like it's going to pay off here, Joe. He's about a lap till he gets that white flag, and he's clear. At least on the yellow flags.
As he crosses the line here, David, one more time around Charlotte Motor Speedway for him. And anything that happens now makes it official.
Yeah, outside of him hitting a wall or getting it on the apron or low, he's going to win this race, Joe. And the gamble, if you will, air quotes, pays off for him. But I say that, and he's the only one in the field that did that, really. So, awesome job by him.
Awesome race here by Lee Krause as he crosses your finish line. 55 laps at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Your winner of the, what did you call it? The coaling?
The what?
What did you call the name of this race?
No. What did you just say?
Coaling?
No, it's the Rollin Coal.
Oh,
55.
rolling coal. The rolling coal. 55 from Charlotte.
TNT Excavating and Gravel Ltd. We want to thank them for being awesome sponsors tonight.
Second place will be Dustin Buck. And third place, after having a tough time early in the race, he's going to go with their Dylan Dunford.
Yeah, he's still going to grab a podium there. Dean Qualley coming in fourth. Eddie Morrison fifth. Brandon Richardson sixth. Greggy the Legend Fronik seventh. Alan Warnicki in eighth. Tyler Aspinall ninth. Austin Green 10th. Danny Stagner coming in 11th. Atlee Weiss 12th. Donnie Bartlett 13th. Tony Richardson 14th. And Mick, not Mike, Olofsson.
I definitely didn't call him Mike. I might have said Meek. Meek Olofsson. As we wait for our drivers to hit the waiting room. All right, D-Right, let's talk to our winner. Lee Krause, you got Joe and Dave in the booth. You got us.
I sure do, guys. How you doing?
What a wild race for you. Strategy pays off. Take some tires, get some fuel, and hope for the best. And here you are, the winner.
Oh yeah, no doubt there. I was having flashbacks though. I kept thinking of Concord, and I was expecting Dean to come back up my tailpipe. But the other thing I didn't want to do was Bristol it like I did last week. So yeah, I just took it easy, and it paid off.
Lee, you were literally the only one there to take the tires, and it definitely pays off. I don't know what the odds would be if you walked in a casino and said lap 14 of Monday Night Mayhem of a 55-lap race at Charlotte, I'm going to take the tires, and we're going green the rest of the way. Cautions usually breed cautions. Walk us through it. Was it a pucker for 30 laps, 35 laps there? I know you knew you had it on gas, obviously, but that caution was like the Reaper in the mirror.
Yeah, I kept thinking, and then I heard Aspinall talking about how he got into Rowdy there, and I was scared they were going to throw a caution with like 3 to go, and I was like, oh, here we go. No, it was definitely, I asked Dean under caution if he took 4, and he said he didn't, and so I figured I was the only guy that took 4, and I figured, okay, I'm just going to take it easy, ride around a little bit. And those guys that didn't pit or those that took 2 just came back to me in a heartbeat. So it was almost simple. I hate to say that. The car was, the way I was driving was just perfect. So put that Corey LaJoy paint scheme, stack some pennies, and here we are.
No doubt. Well, Lee, you made it look simple, that's for sure. Congratulations on your win tonight here in the Extreme Forces Monday Night Mayhem race. But before you go, do you got anybody watching or anybody you want to thank?
I definitely want to thank you two. You guys have been phenomenal on the broadcasts. I really appreciate it. Dean Qualley, I can't say enough. Dean and I have known each other a number of years. For putting this on, I'm really enjoying these, and I'm looking forward to season 2. And I got to thank my wife for letting me have a couple hours on a Monday night to come out and enjoy these. And so yeah, other than that, it's been great. Thanks, guys.
Great job, Lee. Take care.
You too.
Dustin, Buck, you got Joe and Dave in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Well, you find yourself back here with your old buddies running some Arca cars at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and you come home second. Tell us about it. How'd it go?
Well, being the new guy that's not running for points is just trying to stay out of the way but be competitive. On that caution around lap 17, me and like half a dozen other guys decided to pit. 5 of us got fuel only, and Lee took tires, and that turned out to be, the race winning choice or, decision. And I'm just glad tire conservation allowed me to come home second. If we would have got a caution there at the end, I think the 5 of us that had tires sitting in the pits would have been racing for the win.
Yeah, you mentioned it there, Dustin. Great call by Lee. Nearly a 12-second win by him. And you said it as well, being a part-time driver in the league. What do you think of the league tonight and the race tonight? One caution, pretty clean race.
Yeah, it was real clean. Everybody ran really well. It's fun to be back with these guys. In the summertime, I don't iRace. I take my kids to the go-kart track. They race go-karts, and it's getting late in the year, and I get to race now a little bit, and it's fun being back with this group. They're all real good guys, good racers.
Awesome, Dustin. Well, congratulations on your comeback podium finish. Hopefully next week you can put that thing in that P1 position.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yep. And tough luck, Dylan Dunford. D. Wright in the broadcast said it was time for you to crash, and as soon as he said it, you did. Dylan, you came back, though. You found your way all the way back to P3. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I can't ever do one of these things without some issues. So I guess at least the issues came early, huh?
Right.
Well, for the record, Dylan, that's not what I said. I was just describing where we were in the run. It was starting to get a little bit racy, and we might see some action, and on cue it happened. Obviously, I know you're a little hot coming off of what happened last week, so it's almost like deaths in a little bit. They come in bunches when people start to get into you and make some mistakes. We went through that a couple of different times on the replay. And the cars were pretty much exactly what I had talked through on the live broadcast, getting a little bit tight. He thought he was going to stick it down there underneath you, and there was just no tire to really stick it, and looks like he drives right through you. But as Joe said, you came back, and it's a podium, man. Huge point run for you. So tell us about overall where you're at coming to the final in this one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's been a tough couple weeks, but we moved on, and as far as what happened on the track here tonight, it's just one of them deals. I just was gonna kind of hang out behind the car in front of me and just try to set him up at the next turn, and I backed my turn way up, and I just don't think he was expecting that, so. It's all good, but yeah, nice points tonight, and we'll try and go get them next week.
Hey, and Dylan, one more quick question before we let you go, man. So last week, a heartbreaker, leading the race, get turned, we'll say. And I just realized while looking at your hometown here, you're right there in Tennessee, right down the road from Eddie. Maybe a little drive down to his house, a little knock on the door, huh?
Yeah, I know. Us Tennessee guys are supposed to take care of each other. But no, yeah, we talked it out. We're all good. It's just one of them things. It's I don't know. It's just one of them deals. We'll move on. I'm not mad at them or anything, so it's all good.
Perfect. Well, Dylan, good job. Way to make your way back up to that podium spot. We'll see you again next week. Anybody you want to thank before I let you go?
Yeah, just thank my wife as always. Shout out to SCR and Dean and Intensity. Appreciate y'all broadcasting that for us. And that's it, man.
All right, Dylan, take care.
Yep, thank you.
All right, D-Right, that wraps it up here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. A great race overall all the way through. Some good racing here and there, and some green flag action with some strategy. Lee Krause killing it on the strategy game tonight and pulling it out.
Yeah, again, just want to thank TNT Excavating and Gravel Ltd. The Rollin Coal 55 was very, very excited, even though it had nothing to do with Colin, as you said, and it's Mick Olofsson, not Mike, but we're improving, Joe.
Hey,
some really, really...
Hey, speaking of mics, the mic was on this week, all right? So don't
Yeah,
get
that's
don't get
true.
me going. Okay.
Like I said, that is improvement over weeks in the past. But racing is improving too. One caution tonight in 55 laps. Lee takes the gamble, like I said, air quotes, takes those tires at lap 14, 15, whenever that caution was, and that sends him through to the end. He's the only one taking all four, dominates with an 11-second lead and finish. So kudos to him. That will bump him up in the point standings. And Joe, we're getting down to the end of this league pretty close here. So, what do we have left? 3 races, right? So, one more round through the street stocks, the Wheel Modifies, and the Arcas, Dover, South Boston, and Michigan, respectively, and we'll crown a champion. And it's going to be a very, very tight race down to the finish here, as Lee was in fourth before the win tonight. Dylan Dunford, we just talked to him in third. He's in third in points. So Dean Qualley didn't get a podium tonight, but I'm pretty sure he finished fourth or fifth, Joe. So it should shake out really, really tight.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting week here from the Extreme Boys and see what they got when we start next week. All right, D Wright for Intensity Broadcast, and I'm Joe Wright. I've been joined tonight by my brother, D Wright. Man, I can't even speak. Sorry, Mick, if I said that. Don't think I did. Yet I have to listen to it back.
He definitely did.
As at Matt Weiss would say, over